So Dave, morning. Good to see you. How are you doing?
Good morning, Phil. I'm doing really well, thank you.
Yeah, awesome. And we just wanted to check in and kind of look back on the program that you were on, the Close the Gap program over the last 28 days, because it's ending today. But
Yeah,
just wanted to find out a bit about your experience, but also if we just start with what you do and what you're up to at the moment in your life.
yeah. I've recently opened up a gym, Paragon. So recent gym owner. Delivering private personal training in small group setting. And with coming onto the Closing the Gap program, it was for me, it was mostly for more headspace, a wee bit of mindset, and to help me deal with, I guess, a sense of overwhelm, feeling overwhelmed with workload. And that's been one of the big things for me from starting the program, is just making sense of everything, why everything's happening in the way it does. And, and I think for me, having the structure and the help from yourself in place has helped me massively manage my stress throughout the 28 days. Yeah, so that's definitely been very helpful.
Nice.
So,
I was going to ask you what got you interested in it, but that's
yeah.
one, I guess, that kind of sense of overwhelm and maybe looking for tools to help with that. Was there anything else that you
Yeah,
were curious about? Or
I think as I've been following your work on Instagram for quite a while, and a lot of the things that you were talking about was a lot of the sort of pain points that I had been experiencing. So whenever the program came up, I knew that it was going to be something that would benefit me, because I'd seen a lot of your work beforehand, and I knew that we put onto the course and having the accountability aspect, that would just take it to another level. So that's why I was super interested in it whenever it came out, because I had been following you for a while.
and what, I guess, as you look back then over the 28 days, what has been like the biggest insights or the biggest kind of aha moments, I guess, for you as well?
Yeah, suppose finding where I was at, because it's kind of been in a bit of a muddle. I was just going through each day, just being super busy, and just like the next day super busy, but not having really any direction going forward. So, and I think that was leading into the sense of like anxiety and feelings of overwhelmed, because it was just becoming, with the business, it's obviously doing really well, it's progressing, but for me, not being able to manage sort of my own sort of time for headspace and anxiety and all the rest of it, I just knew that wasn't sustainable. So I think one of the biggest sort of things for me so far has been every day, like obviously reading and journaling and writing down and being able to reflect upon how the days have been. That has helped me. And the content that you put out on Facebook as well each day, and having to write up on that and reply to that, it puts it all into perspective as to why things are happening, So then, like, whenever it comes to, because each day you're faced with different challenges, and then you can actually think back and go, well, what I read this morning and what I journaled about, that's actually clicked in, and it kind of, in a weird sense, it gives you a bit of comfort. It's like, right, well, this is like how it is. This is how I'm going to deal with it. I'm not going to overreact. I'm going to just take my time and analyze this and then react. So it kind of, instead of like, I'd be very impulsive and just like do everything now, whereas now it's like, right, let's take a step back and think about this.
Nice. And
Yeah.
that was one of the things, Dave, from somebody else. They said it was nearly that. Well, one of my intents is to move from habit to thoughtful. And it's not to say when you're habitual, you're not thoughtful, but it's just to say we are so in a routine, but the routine can just be overwhelming because there's no clarity there. Whereas if we can take that step back and be a little bit more thoughtful and choose rather than react, it makes a massive difference to how we feel. So I'm glad you picked up on that.
Yeah.
And maybe just anything else, I guess, that comes to mind as you look back.
I think probably actually writing down every day. When you're going through, so obviously you're reading the Stoic book, and it's got you're reading their paragraphs on that every day, and then you're writing down the breakdown, the message that you got from it. So every day it's the accountability aspect. Whereas before, if I hadn't been with yourself in the program, and if I had bought the book myself after maybe like a week or 2 weeks, probably wouldn't be happening anymore. But I think because I had the accountability aspect, and I knew that I didn't want to let you down, because it would also let myself down. I was like, right, I got into it, and I found that, because I am super busy, it was another task for me to do. So I found that initially, the first week especially, right, it's just because I am so flat out, right, this is another chore. But then after, the second week,